Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fluent Daily English Channel. I'm Amy.
Ugh. Oh my goodness. And I am Jack, or I should say, I am what's left of Jack.
Yeah.
The collection of complaining muscles that currently inhabits his body.
Whoa. Are you okay? You sound like an old door hinge that's been left out in the rain for a century. What on earth is going on?
I am, it's to say, physically compromised. I'm a broken man. I made a choice yesterday, a very, very rash choice, and an impulsive, you might even say self-destructive, decision to change my life,
Okay.
to embrace the whole, wellness lifestyle. I went for a run.
That's fantastic. I had no idea you were getting into running. That's actually amazing. I am so proud of you.
Please, could you lower the volume? Your enthusiasm is creating vibrations in my skeleton, and no, it is not amazing. It is a tragedy, a Greek tragedy.
What happened?
I ran for exactly 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10. A single digit plus a 0. And now I cannot physically lift my arms high enough to drink this coffee. I have to, lower my entire head down to the mug. I look like a farm animal at a trough. I have made a terrible, terrible mistake.
No, I'm sorry for your pain. I really am. But honestly, this is perfect timing.
Perfect timing for what? My funeral.
No, because today we are doing a deep dive into exactly this. We are talking about exercise, the power of nature, and the whole architecture of building good habits.
Right. Or can I suggest an alternate title for this deep dive?
Go on.
Torture bugs and why I quit before I even started.
Well, you're not quitting. No.
Yeah.
The whole point of this is to change your mindset. We're going to look at the science of what you're feeling, the psychology of why doing it in nature can make it easier. And most importantly, for everyone listening, we're going to cover all the English vocabulary you need to describe this journey. We are not just going to skim the surface. We're going to understand why you feel like a rusty door hinge.
Fine. But if I, pass out from systemic shock in the middle of this, tell my mother I love her and tell her to find the man who invented jogging and have words with him.
It's a deal. So let's start at the very beginning, the hardest part. Why is starting so difficult? You said you wanted to change your life, but now you're filled with regret. What is that force that just keeps us glued to the sofa?
I mean, gravity. It's gravity. Also, the fact that my couch is, a masterpiece of soft, foam-filled forgiveness, and the world outside is made of hard concrete and judgment. It feels like the universe itself physically wants me to remain seated.
It feels like that, you're right. But what you're describing, it's actually a fundamental principle of physics, and it applies perfectly to human psychology. It's called inertia.
Inertia. Sounds like a supervillain. I am inertia.
Yeah.
And I will force you to binge watch 3 seasons of that show you only kind of like until your muscles atrophy.
That's basically it. It comes from Isaac Newton's first law of motion. You probably learned it in school. It states that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion.
Unless acted upon by an unbalanced force.
Right.
I remember. I am the object. I am at rest. I am, in fact, aggressively at rest. My natural state is stationary.
Exactly. But we can go deeper into the physics here because it explains so much about why that first step off the couch feels like physically impossible. In mechanics, there's a distinction between 2 types of friction. There's static friction and kinetic friction.
Okay, friction I get. Resistance. But what's the difference? Static and kinetic.
So static friction is the force that keeps a really heavy box from moving when you first try to push it. It's the bond between the object and the surface when they're not moving.
Right. Me and the couch. We have a very strong bond.
A very strong static friction bond. Kinetic friction is the resistance you feel once the object is already sliding. And here is the key, the absolute most important part of this whole idea. Static friction is almost always significantly stronger than kinetic friction.
So wait, in human terms, the energy it takes to start moving is much, much higher than the energy it takes to keep moving.
Precisely. It's what we call activation energy. Think about trying to push a car that's broken down. That first inch, getting the wheels to just start turning, takes everything you have. You're grunting, you're sweating, you're fighting that static friction. But once it's rolling, even just a little bit.
It's easier. You still have to push, but the worst part is over.
Right. You have momentum. So my point is, the problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem is that your object at rest state has a lot of mass. The static friction between you and your living room, mentally speaking, is immense. That resistance is highest right before you begin.
That is actually strangely comforting. So that whole 20-minute negotiation I had with myself yesterday, before I even put my shoes on, that whole debate in my head, that was me fighting static friction.
Yes. That was the hardest part of your entire workout. The 10-minute run was just kinetic friction. It's much easier to manage once you're already in motion, but you did it. You applied enough unbalanced force to break that static bond.
I did. I broke the bond. Look where it got me. I'm communicating in groans, and I'm pretty sure my hamstrings have filed for divorce from the rest of my legs. Breaking the laws of physics has consequences.
Which brings us to the next point, the scene of the crime. Where did this tragedy take place? You went for a run. Did you go to a gym or did you venture outside?
I went outside. I had this whole idea, let's be one with nature. I thought it would be majestic. I pictured myself like gliding through a forest, maybe like an elf in a fantasy movie, sunlight filtering through the trees, that sort of thing.
Oh, I love that imagery. Well, in the academic world, we actually have a name for that. We call it green exercise.
Green exercise. What is that, like you have to wear solar panels? Or you recycle your sweat when you're done?
Not quite. Green exercise just refers to any physical activity that you do in a natural environment. And the data on this is, well, it's fascinating. It's not just a matter of preference. It's like a physiological biohack.
A biohack.
Yes. There was a huge study from the University of Essex, and they found that doing green exercise significantly reduces your cortisol levels compared to doing the exact same exercise indoors.
Cortisol. Okay, that's the stress hormone, right? The one that makes me want to scream when I'm stuck in traffic.
That's the one. And this all ties into a concept called the biophilia hypothesis. Have you ever heard of that?
Biophilia. Let's break that down. Bio means life. Philia means love. So a love of life.
Yes, essentially. The biologist E.O. Wilson popularized the term. And the hypothesis suggests that humans have this evolutionary tendency to seek connections with nature and other forms of life. I mean, think about it. We spent 99.9% of our evolutionary history outdoors.
Not in cubicles.
Exactly. We didn't evolve in square rooms with fluorescent lights and stale air conditioning. We evolved among trees and rivers and open skies.
So when I go outside, my inner caveman brain just goes, home sweet home, and chills out.
Precisely. On a subconscious level. When you see trees, or the fractal patterns in leaves, or a wide-open horizon, your parasympathetic nervous system, that's the rest and digest system, it automatically activates.
And that's a good thing.
A very good thing. It lowers your blood pressure. It reduces mental fatigue. There's even a related idea called attention restoration theory.
Attention restoration theory.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I desperately need. My attention span is like 3 seconds long on a good day.
Well, the theory proposes that urban environments, cities, require what's called directed attention. You have to constantly be on alert. You're watching for cars, reading signs, navigating crowds of people. It's draining.
It is.
Nature, on the other hand, provides something called soft fascination. You can look at a cloud or a tree or a flowing stream without having to focus hard. It doesn't demand anything from you. It allows your brain to relax and recharge.
Okay, I have a counter-argument. A counterpoint to your biophilia hypothesis and your soft fascination.
Let's hear it.
My cortisol levels definitely increased. They did not decrease. Because about 4 minutes into my majestic elven glide through the forest, a dog started chasing me.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. A very small dog, but a very, very fast dog, with what appeared to be very sharp teeth. It did not provide soft fascination. It provided hard terror.
Okay.
I think it smelled my fear or my inertia. So much for calming nature. My parasympathetic nervous system immediately left the chat, and my fight-or-flight system took over. Mostly flight. A lot of flight.
All right, that is a valid exception. I will concede that being chased by predatory wildlife will absolutely spike your cortisol. But, dog incident aside, the general concept holds true.
I suppose.
But this is a good opportunity to look at the vocabulary here. Because for English learners, the words we use for indoor versus outdoor fitness are really distinct. So if you're indoors, you are usually at
the gym, which is, a place of mirrors and clanking metal and the silent judgment of people who are much fitter than you are.
And at the gym, you would run on
the treadmill, also known as the hamster wheel for humans, or the treadmill.
Exactly. And, psychologically, the treadmill is so difficult because it lacks something we call optic flow.
Optic flow, what's that?
Well, when you run outside, the world moves past your field of vision. The trees go by, the ground moves under you, the buildings get closer or farther away. That's optic flow. It's a crucial signal to your brain that says, hey, we are making progress. We are moving forward.
Okay.
On a treadmill, your body is running, but your eyes are telling your brain you are standing still. You're just staring at a wall or a little screen. It creates this cognitive dissonance, a mismatch between what your body is doing and what your eyes are seeing.
That explains so much. It explains why 5 minutes on a treadmill feels like an hour in prison. It's a prison of time. My legs are saying we're running, but my eyes are saying we're trapped in this box and we will never escape.
Exactly. Now, if you are outdoors, we don't say use the treadmill. We use a great idiom. We say you hit the trail.
Hit the trail. See, that sounds so aggressive to me. Why are we hitting things? First we hit the books, now we hit the trail. Can't we just, I don't know, gently caress the path or politely approach the dirt?
It's just an idiom. It implies a certain energy and impact. It means you're starting a journey with purpose. It's just like saying hit the road. It just means let's get moving. Someone might say, we're going to hit the trail at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
If I am ever conscious at 6 a.m., the only thing I'm hitting is the snooze button. Repeatedly, with force, until it begs for mercy.
You know, there's a really interesting nuance in the words we use for movement itself that I want to drill down into. Do you know the technical difference between walking, hiking, and trekking?
Uh-oh. I feel like this is a quiz, and I did not study. But, okay, I will attempt to define them based on my my vast personal experience of mostly sitting and reading about people who move.
Go for it. Give me your best definitions.
Okay, walking. Walking is the thing I do to get from my couch to my fridge. It is a necessary survival movement. It generally happens on flat surfaces and is motivated by a search for snacks.
Okay, a functional definition. I like it.
Hiking. Hiking is basically walking, but you're forced to wear expensive boots, you have to drive your car somewhere to do it, and, most importantly, you have to post a photo of a scenic view on Instagram afterwards, otherwise it doesn't count.
That's a little cynical, but there's some truth to the cultural aspect of it. Okay, and trekking.
Trekking. That sounds like Star Trek. So I can only assume it means you walk until you die or you reach another planet. It sounds epic and long and probably miserable.
You were surprisingly close on that last one. Okay, let's break these down properly, because this is something English learners mix up all the time. First, walking. You're right. It's low intensity, usually on paved or flat, predictable surfaces. You walk the dog, you go for a walk in the park.
You walk to the kitchen? Check. I'm an expert walker.
Second, hiking. The two key distinctions here are elevation and terrain. Hiking almost always implies that you are on a trail, an unpaved path, and that you are probably going up and down. There are changes in elevation.
So if there's a hill involved and dirt and I'm actively regretting my life choices, it's a hike.
Generally, yes. It's recreational. It's usually a day activity. You do it for the view or for the exercise. Now, trekking is fascinating. The word itself comes from Afrikaners, from the Dutch word trekken, which means to pull or travel.
To pull?
Yes. Historically, it referred to the long migrations people made with ox wagons. It implies a heavy load, a long, slow journey.
A burden. It implies a burden.
Exactly. So in modern use, a trek is a long, arduous journey, usually spanning multiple days, if not weeks. You are often self-supported, meaning you carry your tent, your food, your whole life on your back. You trek through the Himalayas, you trek across the Amazon. It implies serious endurance and a destination that is very far away.
Okay. Well, based on those official definitions, I can confirm that I did not trek. I did not even hike. I barely walked. I think what I did could be scientifically categorized as a panic shuffle.
A panicked shuffle is a perfectly valid form of cardio, especially if a small, terrifying dog is involved. But the goal of green exercise, if you can avoid the dogs, is to find a scenic route.
Scenic, meaning it's pretty to look at.
Yes, a route with good scenery. You know, mountains, lakes, forests, a beautiful view.
See, I generally prefer the air-conditioned route. My #1 argument for the gym is the complete and total lack of mosquitoes and climate control. Nature is very unregulated. It's too hot or too cold or too wet.
But think about the whole sensory experience. This is where we get some really great descriptive vocabulary. When you walk into a gym, what's the first thing that hits you?
The smell. Instantly. What does it smell like?
It smells like sweat and regret. It's a combination of cleaning chemicals, rubber mats, and stale air that has been breathed and rebreathed by 100 other people who are also suffering. And what does nature smell like?
Mud. It smells like mud. And wet dog.
Huh.
And decaying leaves.
No, come on. It smells like pine or fresh earth, or, and this is one of my favorite words in the English language, it smells of petrichor.
Petrichor? What is that? It sounds like a heavy metal band. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage petrichor.
It is the specific, distinct word for the scent of rain falling on dry earth. It comes from the Greek petra, meaning stone, and ichor, which in Greek mythology was the fluid that flows in the veins of the gods.
The blood of the gods.
Yes, so it's that fresh, earthy, almost sweet smell that comes after a summer storm.
Okay, I have to admit, that is very poetic. The blood of the gods on stone sounds a lot better than wet dirt. But yesterday, I mostly just smelled bugs. I think I actually inhaled a fly. Does that count as my protein intake for the day?
It absolutely counts.
Yeah.
See, nature provides nutrition.
I hate you so much right now.
Let's shift gears. You mentioned you can't lift your arms, you are in pain, you are suffering.
I am in agony. I am convinced I have torn every single muscle in my body. I feel like I've been disassembled by a toddler and then put back together wrong with some pieces left over.
Okay, doctor, I think we need to make a very important distinction here. And this is so crucial for anyone starting a fitness routine or for anyone who needs to talk to a doctor in English. We need to figure out if you are sore or if you are injured.
What's the difference? Pain is pain. My body is sending my brain a very clear cease and desist letter.
But not all pain is created equal. This is a big educational moment, so for everyone listening, pay attention. Soreness, specifically what we call DOMS, is a dull, aching kind of pain. The muscle feels tight, maybe tender to the touch.
DOMS. Is that a person? Is Dom hurting me? Please tell Dom to stop.
No, it's an acronym, DOMS. It stands for Delayed Onset Muscle Soreness.
Delayed onset. That explains why I felt kind of okay right after the run, but then I woke up this morning feeling like I'd been run over by a steamroller. It's a sneak attack. The pain ambushes you.
Precisely. It usually starts to peak 24 to 48 hours after the exercise. And here's the cool science behind what's happening inside your body right now. When you do an exercise you're not used to, like running, it creates microscopic tears in your muscle fibers.
Tears? You're telling me I rip my own flesh, that I have thousands of internal lacerations, and this is supposed to be a good thing?
Yes. It is a very good thing because your body is incredibly smart. These tiny microtears trigger an inflammatory response. Your body rushes fluids and white blood cells to the area to start the repair process. But, and this is the key, it doesn't just patch it up back to how it was, it overcompensates. It uses special satellite cells to fuse to the muscle fibers and rebuild them thicker and stronger than they were before.
So, the pain I'm feeling is actually the sound of the construction crew rebuilding me to be better.
That is the perfect analogy. DOMS is literally the feeling of your body upgrading itself. It's a signal that adaptation is happening. It means you challenged yourself. It means you did a good job.
So the pain is just, what's that phrase, weakness leaving the body?
In a physiological sense, yes. Now let's contrast that with an injury. We have to be very careful here.
Okay. How do I know if I've actually broken myself?
An injury is usually characterized by a sharp, a shooting, or a radiating pain. It's not a dull ache, it's more like a lightning bolt or a stabbing feeling.
Okay, yeah.
And crucially, an injury happens immediately during the movement. It doesn't wait a day to show up. Think of a sprained ankle. That happens the moment you roll it. Or a pulled muscle where the tear is bigger and more traumatic. That kind of pain means stop immediately, rest, and maybe see a doctor. DOMS just means you should probably go for a light walk and drink some water.
All right. I don't have any sharp shooting pains. It's just a deep, heavy, throbbing ache that makes me want to lie down and weep. My legs feel like they're made of lead.
Then congratulations, you just have DOMS. You are not dying, you are growing.
I feel incredibly relieved. I was genuinely drafting my will in my head this morning. I was going to leave you my entire collection of unused gym memberships.
How generous of you. But this brings us right to that famous, or maybe infamous, idiom. No pain, no gain.
Ugh. I despise that phrase. Who even invented it? Probably someone who secretly enjoyed suffering. I think we should change it.
Oh.
How about some pain, some pizza?
That completely defeats the purpose. The gain is the physiological adaptation we just talked about. The muscle growth, the new mitochondria, the increased capillary density. The pizza is, well, the pizza is delicious, but it's not the gain we're talking about here.
I would argue that pizza is a gain. It's a gain of happiness and cheese.
Speaking of happiness, while you were running, did you feel the runner's high?
For runners.
The what now?
Runner's high.
Is that the thing where you run so fast you get dizzy and hallucinate from lack of oxygen? Because I might have gotten close to that.
No. It's a neurochemical response from your brain. For a long time, scientists thought it was just from endorphins. I'm sure you've heard of those.
Endorphins, yes. Those are the happy chemicals you get from eating chocolate. Exactly. Endorphins are your body's natural opiates. They bind to the opioid receptors in your brain and block feelings of pain. But newer research suggests the real magic of the runner's high actually comes from endocannabinoids.
Wait. Endocannabinoids? As in Cannabis.
It's a similar chemical structure. Your body naturally produces its own version of the active compounds found in cannabis, specifically a molecule called anandamide.
Anandamide.
It gets its name from the Sanskrit word ananda, which means joy, bliss, or delight. These molecules are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier, and they produce a profound feeling of euphoria, reduced anxiety, and deep calm. It's the feeling that makes you think you could run forever.
I have never, ever felt that. Not for a single second. I only seem to experience the runner's low.
What on earth is the runner's low?
That's the part where I'm lying on a patch of grass, gasping for air like a fish out of water, looking up at the sky, and questioning every single decision I've ever made in my life that led me to that miserable moment.
You just haven't run far enough yet. That's the problem. The endocannabinoids and endorphins, they don't usually kick in until after about 30 or 40 minutes of continuous moderate intensity exercise.
30 minutes, I told you. I lasted 10. I quit 20 minutes short of getting the free legal drugs from my own brain.
Exactly. You have to push through the initial wall of discomfort to get the reward. It's actually an evolutionary adaptation.
Oh.
Think about the persistence hunting hypothesis.
Oh, isn't that the idea that early humans evolved to literally run their prey to death?
That's the one. We aren't fast like a cheetah, but we have incredible endurance, and we can sweat to cool ourselves down, which most animals can't do very well. Our ancestors had to run for hours and hours to track an antelope until it collapsed from heat exhaustion.
Right.
Now, if running just hurt the entire time, they would have given up and starved. The runner's high is the brain's evolutionary trick to keep them going. It's the brain saying, keep going, this is important, here's a little bliss to help you ignore the pain.
So I need to pretend I'm chasing an antelope across the savannah.
If that helps. Or, just pretend that small dog is still chasing you.
I don't need to pretend about the dog. The dog was very, very real. But okay, I get it. I quit too early. That's the story of my life.
Okay, so let's get practical. We've established you're sore, you didn't get the runner's high, and you want to quit. But the whole mission of this deep dive is to build good habits. So the big question is, how do we make sure you run again tomorrow?
Simple. You bribe me, I accept cash, credit cards, or, as previously mentioned, pepperoni pizza.
No bribery. We are going to use psychology, specifically a powerful strategy from James Clear's best-selling book, Atomic Habits. We are going to use habit stacking.
Habit stacking, okay. I know how to stack boxes. I definitely know how to stack pancakes, which, by the way, sounds incredible right now. How do you stack a habit?
It is brilliant because it's so simple. It relies on a brain science concept called synaptic pruning. Basically, your brain already has these super strong, efficient neural pathways for all the things you do every single day without thinking.
Like brushing my teeth.
Brushing your teeth, making your morning coffee, checking your phone. These are deeply ingrained. Habit stacking is the process of grafting a new, weak habit onto one of those strong, existing pathways.
So I do them at the same time. Like I try to brush my teeth while I'm running. That sounds dangerous.
No, not at the same time. You create a sequence. The formula is simply, after I current habit, I will new habit.
Okay, let me try. After I drink my morning coffee, I will go back to sleep.
Yak, come on, be serious. That's not a new habit. That's just reinforcing your old bad habit. You're just strengthening the couch inertia.
It feels like a very good habit. A very natural habit.
Try again. Something small. Something related to the run.
Okay, fine. After I drink my morning coffee, I will put on my running shoes.
Yes, that is absolutely perfect.
Is it, though? I mean, I haven't actually gone for a run. I'm just sitting in my house wearing running shoes. I might look a bit silly.
But that's the magic key. Putting on the shoes is the trigger. It's the cue. You see, the hardest part of exercise isn't the exercise itself. It's the decision to exercise. It's that 20-minute negotiation you have with yourself on the couch.
The one where I say, oh, but it's a bit cold outside, or, oh, I should probably check my emails first.
Yes, that diplomatic summit in your brain, the I'm tired delegation usually wins, right?
Every single time.
But if your rule is simply put on the shoes, well, that's easy. There's no negotiation. It's a simple, low-friction task. And once the shoes are on, you feel a bit ridiculous just sitting there. You're already dressed for the part. You might as well go outside for just 5 minutes.
That is annoyingly clever, because you're right. Once I'm laced up, I feel like a fraud if I don't actually leave the house. I feel like an actor in costume who forgot his lines.
We call this reducing friction. You make it as easy as possible to start. And for everyone listening, you can apply this exact same principle to learning English. It uses the same neural mechanism.
How would that work? After I drink my coffee, I will spontaneously speak fluent English.
Almost. It could be, after I get in my car to go to work, I will turn on an English podcast. Or, after I brush my teeth at night, I will write one sentence in English in a journal. Or even, I will speak 3 sentences to myself in the mirror, describing my plan for the day.
The talking to yourself in the mirror thing again.
Mhm.
That won't make me look insane at all.
Who cares what you look like for 30 seconds? It's about anchoring that new behavior to an old, automatic one. Eventually, the old habit triggers the new one without you even thinking about it. You stop needing willpower. You stop relying on motivation. Motivation is fickle and unreliable. Habits are what get things done.
I like that. I have very little willpower. My willpower is about as strong as a wet paper towel. I need automation. I need to be a fitness robot.
And the golden rule that makes it all work is consistency is key. It is infinitely better to do 5 minutes of exercise or 5 minutes of English study every single day than it is to do one heroic 1-hour session once a month.
Because of the inertia, right? The static friction.
Yes. If you do it every day, you never fully come to a stop. You keep that kinetic friction going. It's so much easier to maintain momentum than it is to start over from a dead stop every single time.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to write that on my fridge. I'll put it right next to the pizza coupon so I see it during the moments of greatest weakness.
Whatever works.
You know, we're getting close to the end of this deep dive, and I have to say, surprisingly, despite the agony and the dog-related trauma, I actually feel a little bit motivated.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's this conversation. Maybe it's the coffee finally hitting my bloodstream. Or maybe it's just knowing that the pain I'm feeling is actually those satellite cells fixing my muscle tears, I feel like. I could maybe do it again.
That's amazing.
Not today. Dear God, not today. My body would actually just collapse into a pile of dust. But
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow.
That is the endorphins kicking in. Or maybe just the power of having a growth mindset.
I'm still going with the coffee theory. But I do like this idea of combining nature and learning English. It makes the suffering feel more, productive.
It is the ultimate combination for your brain.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, here is our challenge for all of you listening this week. We want you to try this out. We're calling it the Walk and Talk Challenge.
Do I have to walk with a friend? Because I don't really want anyone to see me waddling around in my current state.
No, you can go alone. In fact, alone is probably better for this specific challenge. Here are the instructions. Go for a 10-minute walk outside. Just 10 minutes. That's it. While you're walking, look at the nature around you. And I want you to describe what you see out loud in English.
Out loud. We're back to the talking to yourself thing.
Yeah.
People will think I'm crazy. They'll think I'm narrating a nature documentary that only I can see.
Yeah.
And here we see the majestic pigeon searching for a discarded piece of bread.
I have a hack for that. A life hack. Wear headphones.
Headphones.
Yes. If you have headphones on and you are talking, every single person who sees you will assume you are on a phone call. It's like a social invisibility cloak. You can say whatever you want.
That is social genius. That's brilliant. I can just walk around shouting verbs, running, sweating, crying.
Well, try to make full sentences if you can. Keep it simple. Say things like, that tree is very tall. The wind feels cold on my face. I can hear the leaves crunching under my feet.
That dog is chasing me again.
Yes, that works.
That dog looks hungry. I am now running for my life. I regret all of my choices.
Exactly. This connects to a learning theory called embodied cognition. The theory is that when you move your body while you learn, you anchor the memory much more deeply in your brain. And by speaking aloud, you're also taking advantage of the production effect.
The production effect.
Yes. Countless studies have shown that simply saying a word out loud makes it significantly more memorable than just reading it silently. You're engaging your motor skills to speak, your sense of hearing to listen to yourself, and your vision all at the same time. It's a triple threat for your memory.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
I will put on my running shoes. I will put on my headphones. I will walk, and I will narrate. But I'm telling you, if that dog catches me, I'm calling you. And you are paying for the bandages.
It's a deal. I will have the first aid kit ready and waiting.
And maybe that pepperoni pizza we discussed. For the gain?
We'll see about the pizza.
I'm going to choose to interpret that as a definite yes.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Fluent Daily English Channel. We really hope you feel inspired to move your body and your mouth this week. Don't let that static friction win.
And remember, no pain, no gain.
Hey, you said it.
I did. And I regret it immediately. But I guess it's true.
Get some fresh air, everyone. We'll see you next time.